Welcome back to Introduction to Synthesizers, a free class that will teach you all the skills you need to start working with synths. Today we're going to learn about another popular effect commonly used to modify sounds, chorusing. Together we will learn what chorusing is, how it works, why it's different from other similar strategies we've learned so far, and, of course, most importantly, how to apply it to create different types of sounds. By the end of this video, you will know everything you need in order to apply chorusing effects as either part of a synth or a standalone plugin. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. So to kick things off, let's take a quick listen to the simple little synth I made for today's video. This time, I had a little bit of fun applying some of the strategies we've learned so far to create a lead with a little bit of an organ-type quality. Chorusing is another strategy we can use to add smeared/widened and pulsing quality to a synth or sound. This sounds familiar because we've already covered a couple different strategies for creating similar effects. We learned about doubling and detuning from video number 3, and of course, unison from video number 7. While each of these strategies share similarities, their differences are what give each one its own unique strengths. Doubling and detuning is useful for creating a smeared and pulsing type effect without applying any additional width to your sound, making it a fantastic choice for thin solo style leads. Unison can be used to create the same pulsing, smeared quality to your sound, while also adding a tremendous amount of width, making it useful for aggressive, strong sounds that are meant to stick out in your mix. But chorusing allows you to control the pulsing independently from the amount of smear or width you add, which makes it more useful for subtle and soft sounds. And while every synth and plugin is unique, the vast majority of all chorusing options can be boiled down to just two simple controls: chorusing mix and chorusing rate. Chorusing mix controls how much width and smear you add to your sound, similar to controlling how many different times you double your original sound in unison. Lower mix means fewer voices, while a higher mix means more voices. Chorusing rate allows you to control how fast your pulse will be. A slower rate means a slower pulse. Increase that rate and it suddenly becomes more noticeable. And sometimes you'll find a very common third control, which is chorusing amount, which helps you control how strong or exaggerated your pulsing is. Very small amounts mean very subtle pulses. Exaggerated amounts mean very exaggerated, cartoonish levels of pulsing. But this control isn't as common as the first two, and is often set to a default amount, depending on which plugin or synth you're working with. So when you're trying to apply chorusing, a useful workflow to keep in mind is to start by setting your rate and amount to just a subtle, moderate amount, something you can notice, and then focus on dialing in your mix. This isn't the final amount you're working with, we just want something there for you to notice while you focus most of your energies on the mix to start out with. We'll come back and adjust these later. Once you have enough to notice the impact on your sound, we'll then move on to deciding on your mix. How much smear or width do you want to add to your sound? And of course, this depends on the type of sound you're looking for. One strategy is to start with 0 and play a part, and gradually increase the mix until you like what you hear. But if you're looking for more specific guidelines to help you get started with sound design, generally speaking, somewhere between 10 and 20% is the minimum necessary for a noticeably thicker yet subtle sound. Anywhere between 20 and 30% will give you a more obvious, stereotypical, traditional type of chorusing sound. While moving anywhere beyond that gets you in the territory of super thick, exaggerated sounds. For now, we'll stick to about 32%. Once you set your mix, we're gonna start working on your rate. This, again, is the speed of the pulsing that you want. Generally speaking, anywhere between 0.1 and 0.4 hertz will give you a nice, slow, natural movement to your sound. If you get between 0.5 to 1, it becomes much more noticeable. And while 0.62 seems to be the maximum amount for Massive X, using a plugin like Steinberg's Chorus to land somewhere between 1 and 3 hertz will help give you a much stronger vibrato type style of effect. Going faster than that is going to get you in the territory of something that sounds exaggerated, obvious, and a little cartoony. Something you only want to use if you're really going for that specific sound. For now, let's stick with Steinberg's Chorus plugin, and we'll go with a rate of about 0.93 hertz. Once you have your mix and your rates figured out, if you have the option available, you can then begin to play around with your amount, or in this case, what's called the width. Sometimes it's called depth. There's a bunch of different names for it, but you can start playing around with how exaggerated and deep the individual pulses sound, gradually increasing the amount until you find the sound you like. I like about 25% here. Once you have your mix, rates, and amounts figured out, you can even begin experimenting with using modulators like LFOs or envelopes to add a bit more variety to either parameter. For example, using an envelope to gradually increase the speed of your rate the longer a note is held. Now, before we end this video, we need to take a moment, like we have with every other video in this series, to address how this step can fit into your general workflow for sound design and synth programming. My recommendation is to start out by deciding which type of synth you are trying to create. In this case, a lead, a pluck, pad, or a bass. Then select an initial oscillator to use as reference for setting up your amp envelope. This is where I would also recommend you try setting up your synth as being either monophonic or polyphonic. Once it's set up, you can experiment with different oscillator configurations, oscillator sync, unison, ring modulation, frequency modulation, and things like that to help create the sound that you want, making small tweaks to your amp envelope as necessary before experimenting with the filters. Once your initial sound is set up, you can then begin experimenting with how applying modulators like LFOs or envelope generators to various parameters of your synth can help provide additional personality and color to your sound, and how portamento and or legato modes can help contribute to the personality of your instrument. This is also where I would recommend considering whether trigger or phase reset and mono versus poly mode would be most useful for the sound you're trying to create with your LFO. Then, once you have your bass sound figured out, that's when you start playing around with things like delay, reverb, or even chorusing to decide on how they can contribute to the sound you've created. As you can probably tell, there's going to be a lot of moving back and forth between various steps when making a synth, and that's okay. That's half the fun, is just making little tweaks here and there until you create a sound that you are happy with. So with that taken care of, we have reached the end of another video, my friends. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Today, we have added the following items to your new synth checklist. If you find yourself working with a new synth and you can identify these simple tools, you will be that much closer to mastering your new instrument. A special thank you goes to my patrons and channel members for making videos like this one possible. You can use the affiliate link in the description of this video to grab a copy of any of the synths used in these videos so far and follow along with the rest of the series. So until next time, my friends, keep studying, keep working hard, and keep writing new music. I will see you in the next video.